You know, it can be really tough to understand which properties offer the best value and what you should maybe be offering on properties in a marketplace like this one right now. And I thought, as myself being a realtor here in Surrey, Langley, and the Fraser Valley, it would be a very good opportunity, I guess, to show you what I think are good buys. So if you're looking for a Langley condo, particularly two bed, two bath condos that I'm going to be going over here today, this video is for you so you can kind of understand what I think real good purchases are. But let me first lay a little bit of groundwork. First of all, I am a realtor here in Surrey, the Fraser Valley, lower mainland of British Columbia, but these sales that I'm going to show you are not mine. These are actual sales from the MLS and where I view good value, but I had nothing to do with the participation of negotiating these offers. My buyers didn't buy them, my sellers didn't sell them. I will let you know that with this particular focus on these Langley condos, I did focus on finding best value in the north end of the city. There's a reason I say this. Right now in Langley City, as opposed to the township, Langley City is a tougher spot to be. Just physically, it's not as nice of an area. And there's not a lot of condos yet in South Langley or the far east side of Langley until you get out to Walnut Grove, and there's not even that many there. So most buyers looking to purchase in Langley are ending up in Willoughby or Walnut Grove, and that's where my focus is going to be here today. So just so you understand a little bit about Willoughby and Walnut Grove is the area north of the freeway from, let's basically call it 200th Street out to 216th, north of Highway 1. And then Willoughby is south of the freeway, kind of basically the same area. So that goes from about 64th Avenue all the way up to Highway 1 from technically 196, even though people think Langley starts at 200th, it doesn't. 196th Street out to, again, about 216th. Now, the criteria I used here today to find what I think is best value is over 800 square feet. I want two beds and two baths because that's super important. And I want something built within the last 20 years so it's not too old because, well, a lot of these units are coming up on special assessments and things like that. So let's hop into it here with the very first property on my list. And sorry, my eyes will be looking down because I'm going to go over the listings here with you today. And that is starting off in Walnut Grove at The Grove. Now, The Grove is located in Walnut Grove, this area here that we were discussing, but I want to zoom in and show you a little bit of exactly where it is. So this is Highway 1. So the problem that you may have with The Grove is the fact that you are very close to 88th Avenue, which is a busy street, and also Highway 1. So if you are on the south end of the Grove, you are going to get traffic noise. That is definitely a for sure, but there is a bunch of interior units as well, and there's also a bunch facing away from the freeway. That being said, this is the unit that I saw sell for very, very good value in the Grove. Now, the reason people do shop in the Grove is they are looking for value for whatever reason, and I can't really even identify what that reason is, except for some of the units do kind of back onto Highway 1. There are a lot of units that sell for very good value in the Grove. It is one of the best neighborhoods of which you can get a lower priced property. I believe the CRF in this particular complex, or the contingency reserve fund in this complex, it's actually very healthy for what it is. It's somewhere nearing $2 million, at least at the time of viewing this video. So that's always been very good. It does get you in on a budget, like I mentioned. Now, this particular unit, you'll notice, is mentioning that it comes with 2 parking spaces, and it is 833 square feet. Now, the maintenance fee is $470 per month. I kind of say, like, right now, depending on utilities being in or out, $500 a month is kind of good value. You probably want to be lower than that if you can in a condo. It wouldn't kill you to go up to $550. North of 600 is starting to get very expensive. This is a very good area to live if you want to walk to everything. So there's grocery shops are right nearby. You have the theater, which is right nearby. There's all sorts of microbreweries and all of that sort of stuff. It is definitely a big feature of getting into Walnut Grove. And the reason most people want to get into Walnut Grove is definitely to get their kids into the right elementary and high schools. As you notice, it's super quick access to Highway 1, as I just showed you in the map. And I'm going to show you some more features. So this was listed for $534,900. The unit ended up selling for $530. It did sell in August, so this is now a slightly outdated sale, let's call it, but we're still within the last 90 days, so I would use it in a market comparable. And then what I'm going to do is take you through and show you some of the photos. So definitely a nice unit. Most of the unit, I mean, it's a very typical condo layout for this year of construction. You end up with a peninsula kitchen. These are kind of a melamine cabinets. They're not a hardwood cabinet by any means. So they are what I would say is builder grade, but you end up with a nice clean unit. It is an electric fireplace, so you won't necessarily get gas fireplaces in a lot of these units. Stainless steel appliances, not exactly the best picture. There we go. Just a really nice unit. Does give you the proper 2 bedrooms and, heaven forbid, a proper 2 bathrooms, because we know that can be a thing these days. Like, for instance, there's the window, right? A lot of these new, what we call junior 2 beds, it's a 1 bed and den, doesn't have a closet, doesn't have a window. So this can definitely be one of these that you should be looking for. Now, this particular unit, we're going to find it out here on the floor plan. I would say that this particular unit is a little unusual because from what I can see, the shower is in the main bath. Normally the main bath would be the one that has the tub for your kids. And then in the ensuite off of the primary bedroom, you would end up with just the stand-up shower that you're going to use each and every day. So this one, for that respect, is changed up a little bit. But relatively speaking, with the location and the budget, there's the market right there. With the location and the budget and the fact that somebody paid $530 for this when at the peak of the market in February of 2022, a similar unit sold for $620,000. This is $90,000 less than peak of market pricing, and that's why I picked it on my list of things that I would buy if I was moving to Langley. Now, moving out of Walnut Grove here and into Willoughby, and actually the very south end of Willoughby, we're going to go down to Elements. Elements is a very large, I guess it happened over a long period of time. You kind of had this first section of Elements, which was a little bit older, and then they built the second half, I guess in stages a little bit later on. Again, super close to shops. I'm going to say for family life, maybe not as good of an area. You are closer to Langley City, and it's going to get a whole lot busier as you get into Willoughby, because just down here is the mall and a whole bunch of other shops and everything. Like, this is walking distance to Costco. That tells you what type of a neighborhood it's in. But again, this one does give a little more access. So you have access up and down 200th to get to the number 1, but you also can then access Fraser Highway to get either to the northwest or the southeast. And you also have access to Highway 10 without too much of a headache if we're traveling into Richmond. At the same time, everything is built in here. You have some pretty good amenities with a gym, clubhouse, theater, and it is a newer building. As I said, this is kind of the second build of Elements. The first one's a little bit older. This one was built in 2017. The list price on this particular unit was $599. It sold for $570. It did also have 2 parking, and the beauty with this unit was not only was maintenance low at $407, but you also had 922 square feet. So this is almost 100 square feet larger, 99 square feet larger than the previous one, 101 square feet. What am I thinking? I'll give you a little bit of a quick tour through this listing so you can kind of see what it is we're working with. I will say it does feel a little bit concrete jungly right when you come in, but once you get into your unit, look at what you end up with. This is a corner unit, so you get all of these big, beautiful windows. A window over top of the sink is worth its weight in gold as far as I'm concerned, someone who does the dishes in my family. You end up with all of those extra windows to look out towards. Again, stainless steel appliances, island kitchen, granite, or sorry, I guess not granite countertops. What are they called? Quartz countertops. And the particular thing I like about this unit is you don't just have that cookie cutter shape. Here's a perfect example of getting side-by-side vanity in case you live with your significant other. The kids' room is a decent size. There's the tub in the main bath, as I discussed in the last listing. And heaven forbid you actually end up with a proper foyer and laundry of your own. Full big covered deck. Absolutely beautiful. I think this is great value. And the reason I think this unit is such great value is because a very similar unit sold at the almost near the peak of the market, January 24th, 2022, for $655,000. So there's the amenity space for you. So now selling as low as $570,000. This one to me looked like an absolute deal. Now that was Element down here by Willowbrook, but we're going to go into Willoughby proper now. And we're going to check out Union Park. Union Park is, again, another fairly large complex, a pretty new complex. This one was built in 2021. So you have this whole section, and look at those amenities in the middle. I don't know if I can zoom in on this for you. Of course not. Of course not. Google didn't help me out, but let's go through and take a look here at Union Park. So this is actually a building that was very interesting for a few reasons. It's very common that when a new building comes around, lots of tenants in there, lots of problems happen in the beginning, and there was actually an insurance problem with water loss in this building. So there was a number of floods. Insurance was extremely expensive, so therefore it was hard to buy these properties because you couldn't insure them properly. Well, now the insurance got down to, for your strata deductible, down to $100,000. So it's easy to get coverage for that when it used to be $250,000. It really was a big problem before. That problem appears at this point anyway, as of filming this video, to be fixed. The amenities, which hopefully I can show you here, are fantastic. And at the same time, it is newer. It's built in 2021. Now, this is only one parking. It is 834 square feet. Your taxes are $335.40. So one thing you have to worry about in Langley is, is your water included? Is your water not included? That's a Surrey problem. It's usually included. I hear rumors that Langley may be putting up, maybe if you know, then you live in Langley, tell me if they're charging you extra now for water and utilities. Maintenance isn't bad at $452. Again, it's 843 square feet and only about 4 years old. I'm going to walk you through this here. Did I see a floor plan? There we go. That's not a very clear floor plan. This is a super common layout in Union Park. I've sold these a number of times myself. But there you go. Here is what it looks like. Now, it's not super awesome. I guess you're looking across at the townhouses from this particular unit, so you may have some privacy issues. You may want to keep your, your blinds closed at certain times. But that's condo life. There's, I guess, what appears to be maybe a poorly staged primary bedroom, because that's through into your ensuite. Again, double vanities is a big thing these days. You want that. Not the most private, definitely, but there's your laundry. I mean, hey, your balcony is not that bad. It looks like maybe directly across. Again, those are townhomes, so they're not higher condos. But let me show you these amenities. So if you want amenities, if you're looking for the gym and you want to be in North Langley and you want a pool and you want a hot tub, Union Park is your guy. Hey, there you go. Your very own basketball court. This is just a real steal. Now, I'll tell you, at the peak of the market, a very similar unit in January of 2022 sold to this unit for $725,000. This one just sold for $615,000. Now, that seems kind of crazy, but believe it or not, in this last downturn in the market that we've had, you had problems at $725,000 before, I guess a little bit with the insurance stuff. But then the insurance really kicked in and being a big problem in 2023 and then in 2024. Now that it appears to be fixed, and thankfully, hopefully at the time of this video, it's still fixed and it hasn't become a bigger issue. This particular unit has now kind of almost recovered. It's not recovering in price, but over the last 6 months where we've seen this massive drop in prices, at this point in time, Union Park seems to be holding up really, really well. And to get into an 830 square foot, 2 bed, 2 bath that's only 4 years old for $615,000, that's great value. So let me know what you think of these 3 picks. What I think is great value in today's low rise 2 bed, 2 bath North Langley condo market. And of course, if you need my help and you're looking for a unit like this, either for investment or to move into for yourself as a first-time buyer possibly, well, you can book a call with me right now using the link in the description below. Or if you're early on in the process, you don't know where to start, please check out this video right now, my quick guide to buying real estate in British Columbia.